New York Governor Kathy Hochul is regretting a statement that she made about black children in the Bronx. She said, they don't know what a computer is. It's so crazy. Like, you would think that I'm making this up. During an appearance at the Milken Institute Global Conference on Monday, the governor spoke about creating an artificial intelligence computing center in New York. That's when Governor Hochul said, right now we have young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is. What? Like, what? She said there are young black children in the Bronx that don't even know what the word computer is. Now, I agree that there's a digital divide. I agree that there's gaps in technological access. But you think black kids in the Bronx don't know what a damn computer is? And this wasn't one of those like there are kids in the Bronx and the race is like, subtle or implicit. No, she said black kids in the Bronx don't know the word computer. I ain't met a kid yet that don't know the word computer. I know black kids that don't know a lot of words. I know white kids that don't know a lot of words. Computer ain't one of them for nobody. Everybody knows what a computer is. Everybody knows, and here's the thing: everybody has access to this technology at this point, right? There are things that we don't have access to. We saw that during the COVID crisis, where certain people had internet access, but only through their phone. Other people had it through, hardwire lines, ISDNs, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But black people don't know the word computer. Anyway, she got immediate backlash for this, and she even apologized. She said, "I misspoke, and I regret it." Of course, black children in the Bronx know what computers are. The problem is that they too often lack access to the technology needed to get on track to high-paying jobs in emerging industries like AI. Now, her second answer is the correct one. Um, I think that it was one of those moments. If I were reading her generously, I would say this is one of the moments where she was just talking too much. She got a little too comfortable, just like Joe Biden at NAACP. Talking some, some people want to put y'all back in chains. Sometimes Democrats get real comfortable and they start talking real slick about black people, either to black people or about black people. And she did that. I think she was just trying to make a case that like we need more resources in black communities because the kids are being deprived. I think that's what she was trying to say. But I guarantee you she wouldn't have said that about anybody else. She wouldn't have said that about any other racial group. And that's if I read her generously. If I read her ungenerously, it's that she actually thinks that black people don't know things. She actually thinks that black people are culturally and civilizationally inferior. And therefore, these kids don't even know. It's hard to believe that she doesn't think black people know what computers are, don't know the word computer in the Bronx. It's kind of wild. But either way, it's it's unacceptable. The question for me though is how do we deal with people who generally have good politics, who generally support the interests of minorities more than they don't, like what do you do with Democrats basically, or liberals and white liberals in general who say racist stuff? And this is where it gets tricky, right? Like when Joe Biden said to Charlemagne, you know, what do you say? You're not really black if you don't vote for me. I know what Biden was trying to do, right? He was saying that I represent the black agenda way better than Trump, and there's no way a black person would choose Trump over me. It's a crazy thing to say. It's a wildly inappropriate thing to say. Um, but what do you do with that, right? Do you think he meant harm? Do you really think he was questioning Charlemagne's blackness? Do you think he was, questioning the blackness of people, black people who vote Republican? Maybe. I'm not saying he wasn't. I'm saying maybe. Or do we give the grace and say, look, you you screwed that one up, you messed that one up, but I'm not going to assume the worst. Governor Hochul, do I assume the worst and think that she actually thinks black children don't know the word computer? I really don't know. I don't know her well enough to have an opinion on it. Um, but it's hard not to see that as at least carrying some dimension of anti-blackness, just some racism up in there. That doesn't make her a racist, but that statement damn sure was. And again, you wouldn't say it about anybody but black people. We're the only group of people who you can say stuff like that about and not get canceled, to use the word people say. At the end of the day, this is why, and I'm a Green Party member, I haven't been a Democrat ever in my life. This is why I often don't buy into the cult of personality, because whether it's Bernie, who's going to disappoint me on Palestine, or whether it's, Elizabeth Warren, who's going to lie about her ethnic and racial background, whatever the thing is, right? If their politics are good and they match my interests at that moment, I will support them. But I don't believe that they love us. I don't believe that they believe in us. I don't believe that they think that we're full human beings. I don't believe that they're not carrying racism with them. I don't believe that, because there's no reason to believe that. So I've come to just manage my expectations. So when Kathy Hochul says something like that, I'm not like, oh, not you, Kathy. I can't believe Kathy Hochul said that Negroes don't know computers. Because I'm like, I never expected her to think Negroes knew anything. And then my expectations are managed.